When you are a child, you really are hopeless and you are extremely vulnerable, and it can break you and damage you for the rest of your life, you know?
Mm.
And the healing process can take a lifetime.
Hi, beautiful souls. I'm Klara Lima, and this is Out of This World show. My purpose is to bring the best out of the best ones. Let's evolve and elevate.
Hey guys, this is the Klara Lima. Welcome to my show, Out of This World. I have this amazing lady here today. Her name is Aura Copeland. She's the founder of Le Couleur charity, also founder of Art Magazine, shoes and footwear designer. And I want to speak with you today, Aura, about what motivates you to have this incredible impact that you do have on the world.
I suppose in every aspect of my life and those achievements you just mentioned, there were certain people that inspired. You know, my very first boyfriend was, for example, an architect. And I was fascinated with drawing and sketching human body and face. And he noticed that. He was like, you know, you have this thing for art. So I ended up, you know, kind of with all force going after it, and I ended up in Academy of Arts in Lithuania. And then when I moved to US, I ended up in Fashion Institute, and I fell in love with footwear and accessory design. And when I started a nonprofit, I naturally wanted to share the skill set I learned in 9 years between those few universities to the children. You know, I wanted to kind of, you know, transfer those, the knowledge and the skill set to the kids that don't have access to that.
Mm.
And so, in short, to answer your question, it was very organic and natural growth.
Mhm.
I just, you know, if I came across things I really was passionate about, I went full force for it, whether it's footwear design, whether it's philanthropy, or whether it's architecture at some point. I went full in, you know? And then when I had all of this knowledge, and then the charity was formed 8 years ago in New York, I'm like, this is what I want to share with children that
Mhm.
don't have access to those kind of experiences. So it was like very organic growth in a way. It wasn't like one situation, one person. It was like a series of events that led me to where I am today, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
It completely makes sense. So basically, the life was putting people that inspire you
Mm-hmm.
on your path, and
100%.
it organically just happened because you know you are who you are surrounded by. Very
Certainly.
often, you get very often either up or either down. It depends who you have around. It is the true that five closest people is going to be impacting who we are.
Absolutely.
That's just the nature of humanity. That's the nature of a human being. It is truly inspirational that you are actually able to study next to people who achieve something. For example, your boyfriend was an architect.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, what was the first spark for you to kind of figure out this is what you want to do? You were always into design when you were, for example, in school. Can you
Yeah.
tell me, like, a little bit? Tell me about your school time, and because that's truly, you know, in school we were just kids, we were just young people who was like existing, trying to figure out our talents.
Mm-hmm. I suppose very early on, when I was maybe 7, I knew intuitively I wanted to do arts, visual arts. And my mom took me to the art school, and they told me at examination desk that I am too young to participate. The
Mm-hmm.
youngest you could be was like 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, but we'll make an exception and let her participate.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, they ended up accepting me, but nobody told me because, you know, some people in administration just dismissed my application because I was too young, which we learned years later. So I didn't end up getting accepted to the art school, but then the teachers in high school be like, you're very good naturally at arts, but I didn't pursue it somehow.
So we had a conversation together, which I wanted to bring up today, with your permission, obviously.
Sure.
What I want you to know about Aura is that she truly is an inspiration, because it was not always that bright and light. Aura went through a period of time where she went through not being really accepted. It was in school, correct?
Including kindergarten.
Including
It
kindergarten.
started actually at kindergarten because I was probably a foot taller than all other kids.
So you were bullied in
Yeah,
school.
for my height. Yes, I'm
For
6'3.5". So it was very difficult growing up, being so different, a foot above even the tallest kid in class. So for some reason in that age, in the teenage years, we have a very difficult time accepting, someone who is different. And I hope somehow this culture will change, because these are the years when we form as human beings. The beginning years of our life, especially kindergarten, we're extremely vulnerable. And to be bullied and pushed away, and you become really thinking that you just don't belong, that you're in the wrong place, that you should have not even been born. All of these things were going through my head every day. Like, why am I so tall? Why can't I be like, the most popular girl in my class was, I don't know, 5 foot tall and a little chubby. And I was like, why can I not be, short and chubby? Like, she was the popular girl. And of course, now years later, I wouldn't want to be short and chubby. Nothing wrong with being short and chubby, but I embrace who I am, and I know I'm very tall, and so what?
You truly do. Wherever we go, anywhere, you are like the queen of the show. And that's what I love about you, because you have so many beautiful events. I've been coming to your events for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's always just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy like that you create, because as you're doing that with Joelle, and you guys always create such a beautiful energy for everybody. And it's a beautiful experience, and I always see you shining with your all like beautiful dresses and the jewelry and everything, and you're always like know how to basically shine, how to carry yourself, and that's truly inspirational. Because the goal in my life experience, because I went through being bullied as well, I don't really remember why, because it was so much like nonsense that the kids were telling me, that I don't remember why, but I do remember how it made me feel. And I can relate to that, because if you are being bullied, you think something is wrong with you. And you really do try to change every day to fit in. But you know what, guys, like when you're later on and you're being bullied, there is no other way than just embrace your authenticity and just truly be proud deeply of who you are, and make it your selling point, make it your authenticity, take it as probably a part of your purpose to connect with people who can relate to your pain or whatever you go through, and make them feel better, because they're not alone.
100%.
That's like so important to whoever is going through, for example, being bullied. There is a lot of people who are experiencing the same, but you have two choices as a human being. You either gonna break yourself because you're gonna believe that something is wrong with you, or you're gonna move forward, you're gonna heal yourself, and you're going to make the best out of your life, same like you're doing, right? Like you're a philanthropist. That's like a dharmic point.
Yeah.
That's the dharmic point. This is the dharma, to find what you're doing the best and take it to the service of people, which you know, I would say in your case is the creativity that you share with infants, with kids, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's difficult for, a teenager or a really young child to understand how to deal with that. They cannot kind of intellectualize as we can now being adults, like, and choose to kind of look at it as something that empowers them. But when you are a child, you really are hopeless and you are extremely vulnerable, and it can break you and damage you for the rest of your life. And the healing process can take a lifetime. So I am a very big advocate for school systems to be much more attentive to bullying and protect the children. I mean, we had a girl, was it like a couple weeks ago, that committed suicide for being bullied, and it happens all the time. I mean, when you look at the suicide rates amongst the teenagers in the United States, it's worrying statistics. So
Can you tell us a little bit more?
well, especially now with like cyberbullying and we have social media, and so it's just so much more amplified. The kind of bullying you can do, it goes beyond the classroom. It goes to social media and exposing your most vulnerable moments or traits or whatnot, and it becomes overwhelming, and we have unprecedented numbers of teenage suicide, which is very worrisome.
Yes, I'm kind of shocked what you're just telling me right now. I didn't know about that. I'm shocked. So what is the most critical age?
Well, the most critical age in our development is the first 3 years of our life.
For the suicide, I mean, what is like the rate where
And
people are really can't handle it anymore? Because I would say, like, it takes time to build up inside yourself.
correct.
It's not gonna happen after 1 week or
Sure.
1 month or 1 year. It can be very hard, but usually these things happen within years, and then the child usually carries already the idea is something wrong with them. So even if
course.
they change the school, they're gonna attract the same energy because they believe something is wrong with them. And how you see yourself, that's how other people see you.
I think the last incident that I saw on the news was like the girl was 11 or so.
11.
Which is
that's a
really, really
tragedy.
sad.
Yeah.
So 11 to 13, 14. When we really very hard try to fit in the group, and then you're not accepted, it's life or death situation for these kids.
It truly is, yes. Do you think the school system pays enough attention towards kids who are in danger, kids who are basically the target in school?
I mean, most public schools are extremely underfunded, except maybe some private schools. And maybe it is extremely difficult to kind of, observe the behavior of school children after classes or between the classes. I agree it is a difficult task, and it falls on the shoulders of the teachers. But I think that there should be some sort of system, or at the very least, there should be maybe an office where kids can easily and anonymously report if they're being bullied or they have some kind of psychological trauma they're going through, which wasn't available when I went to school. I remember that clearly.
And in my experience in Czech Republic, I'm pretty sure it was very similar because it's like a very similar culture, Lithuania, Czech Republic. My country was fresh out of communism.
Yeah, so
right?
was mine.
Yes. And I would say I don't like communism at all. I'm against that. I truly believe is a root of all evil, because from what I really see how it affects the human mind, it's basically if you're different, if you have more or whatever, you're bad, you're wrong. And the idea is a poison, because then kids are the one as well who are suffering with that. It's like a lack of self-expression. You can be different, you can express yourself. Even if you do more, you should feel shame for it, because you are supposed to be all equal, which is like nonsense, because not everybody is going to be a genius writer, but they can be genius musical artist.
100%.
You know, like everybody is different, everybody is authentic, and there should be never any shame for any extraordinary talent or difference or being authentic yourself. That's beautiful. That's truly beautiful.
Or same applies to disability or some kind of different appearance.
Yeah, it's
We are literally born this way. Can't change my height or can change someone's weight or whatever.
yes, I agree
whatever
with that.
else that may be.
I used to have really bad skin when I was younger. I had a really bad skin, and I remember there was one point, there was like one measure thing that was bothering me so much when I was a young girl, you know, like I guess it was like a hormonal problem, you know, and you have it on your face, you know, so people like kind of laugh at you. And I was maybe 13, 14 years old, but I remember how it made me feel like, and how I was trying so hard to do something with that. And, you know, eventually it disappeared because I got, you know, mature and older. But when it comes to, for example, your height, that's something you really cannot change.
Yeah.
Like, you can't change that.
Cannot.
Like,
Impossible.
That's like one thing that you really cannot change. Like, even if you have a little bit extra kilos or something, you can change it, you know, eventually or whatever. But the height is one thing that you really, that's probably the most challenging one if you are facing being bullied for that, because you're just gonna deal with that. But clearly, as I said, the fascinating part is that you became a beautiful fashion model. Like, you literally took it to the highest opposite, you know, so you make people pay for your height and celebrate it and admire it. And that's exactly what I truly believe, that anybody who goes through some sort of defect or some sort of difference, or not even defect, like a difference or something that it bothers them or they're bullied for, take it in your hand and turn it into your triumph.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah. And I still do it.
And you still do that.
I still do it every day.
You're
you know,
doing
in many
it,
ways. Yeah.
In many ways. And also, for example, when you're dealing with the kids, where you are with them, with your charity, explain me, how does it make you feel?
Well, mostly I work with orphanage children in Haiti, Mexico, Nepal, as I mentioned earlier, including a few underfunded schools, but mostly orphanage kids that don't have anyone to fall back on. You know, especially in Haiti, you know, there could be 50 kids and maybe a lady cooking and maybe one supervisor. So they don't really have adult mentorship, adult support. So even when we went through things in our lives, we always had like a family. You know, I had a brother, I had a mother, the father, but these kids really have no support. So they are going through, whether it's bullying or whether it's some kind of struggle at school, they have nobody to fall onto. So that's why the way I run my nonprofit is I hire local teams, local teachers in all the 3 countries that become not only the teachers but also mentors and in some way parent figure for the children.
That's beautiful. it's so necessary, Aura, because I can relate to that after not as a little child, but I know how does it feel to basically, look, I do have a beautiful family. I have a sister, I have a grandfather, and I have cousins. With my parents, I don't have my parents, and it's still inside me.
Yeah.
It's like a gap that you can't really replace.
Yeah.
And especially when you are a little child
Mm-hmm.
who just came to this world and is facing probably the hardest challenge, it is really beautiful thing to do that you are there for them. And you were telling me really passionately that you're always doing everything to bring their talent as well. I saw you were showing me a girl who was cooking, who
Yeah.
was a chef, you paint with them. So you're basically bringing the artistic talents that kids
Correct.
naturally have, So
Kids, yeah,
yeah.
they all feel like they are great artists,
They are.
Only when they grow up, we start telling them like, no, you're an artist, you're better at math, or you're better. But when they're little, they all think they are great artists. So yeah, we had a girl who wanted, she did a presentation. She said that she wants to be a chef. So actually I went, I bought all kinds of ingredients and even a cookbook, and we brought it to the orphanage. She was so shocked, to see like full truck of food. And I'm like, okay, cook. And she cooked for entire orphanage. It was one of the most beautiful days of my life to see her, engaging with all her classmates and friends and the ladies that work in the kitchen. They all cooperated so beautifully, and they cooked this beautiful meal, and she served entire orphanage, and she's like 12 years old or something.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That truly is. How many years do you have the charity?
I started in Haiti 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Time flies. 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah. And then we added Mexico 5 years ago, and then this last August, Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all the same concept, creativity. The program is called Create, and it's about empowering children through creativity, music, arts, dance, and English language classes.
English language classes too. How many kids did you save? How many kids did you impact?
Well, at some point before Haiti started collapsing, we had 1,000 children just in Haiti serving. Now it went down to 200 because of the insecurity in Haiti. So the team kind of started falling apart. It just became too dangerous to do the work. We have a few hundred kids now in Nepal, a few hundred in Mexico. So altogether, probably, I say, close to 700 children that we serve today.
That's beautiful. 700 lives.
Yes.
That's truly, thank you for that, Aura, because the world really needs more people like you to think like you. Also, in our society, I would say we need, as human beings, we need to speak about these things more, and we need to pay more attention to that through whatever we really daily do, even if it's like one word, one nice sentence can really impact a whole collective.
100%.
It's just like when you're telling me this, right? Like with one foundation, you impact 700 lives through your idea. Like it is your desire, is your purpose, is your idea. And through one brain, through one creativity, you really change 700 lives. The same effect can have, for example, when there is a person who has a bad day, and let's say it's year 2023, you can really make just being nice to somebody. You can make this person's day by just being nice, and this person is not doing good right now, and you meet this person in 10 years, 2033, and this person is on the top, like on the top, doing a big career, big CEO, whatever. And you know what? You were probably one of the reasons why these people did not give up, because they saw the human kindness, they saw the light, and this person is gonna go and probably give back to another 700 people that they have in their company through their kindness, through the act of kindness. And whatever we do, you're basically seeding the good, the light into 700 lives right now. And these kids are gonna grow, and they will always remember, and their families, that they were not alone, that there is good in human beings. Because if we're gonna be listening to the media and to news and to all these things, which are not the most positive, this little kids already live with the idea, okay, there is good people like Aura, who actually gave us education, who gave us faith, who gave us love, who gave us the tools we need to grow into good human beings.
That's the whole idea.
That's the whole idea,
Yeah,
right?
that's the whole idea. Yeah.
That's amazing. How old are these kids right now?
It ranges from 5 to 17.
5 to 17. So it's not like super small anymore.
Yeah, we have, let's say in Nepal, it's kind of difficult to leave the orphanage. Same in Haiti. So a lot of times the older kids just end up staying. They have nowhere to go. So they end up staying in the orphanage and just help out at the orphanage. And they're still there. So they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to acquire new skills. So yeah, it's a very broad range of students for sure.
That's beautiful. Okay, pause. What else do you want to speak about right now? We spoke about.
We covered mostly everything, no?
We covered a lot of things, yes. I think the focus on the charity, that was good.
Very good.
Do you want to add anything else when it comes to the kids, to the charity? Because then I'm going to ask you as well where to support you, your charity, where to follow you, name of your art magazine, and your social media. I'm going to ask you all these questions. Is there anything else that you want to add after this? Okay, I have, all right. So we're going to do closing questions right now, and then I will ask you these things.
Perfect.
I have it. So, what motivates you the most, Aura?
It's actually seeing the progress that the kids are making. A few weeks ago, I get a message from the director in Nepal. She said, Aura, one of our students just got a second place in the art competition in Kathmandu, And I remember that student so well because he stood up and he's taller than everybody else. He skipped a few grades and he's like from the lowest caste because in Nepal, they still have castes. And he said, my dream is to become an artist. And I said, we'll try to work on your dream. And just 6 months goes by and he's taking a second place in art competition. So, and we had several other students that got really good feedbacks, and good grades at these kind of competitions, whether it's dance, whether it's art. So it's the progress, it's the achievements that kids are making that's what can be more inspiring. And what better push should I wish for to continue that work,
So that's the progress that you see.
The progress you see. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And thank you so much again for being a good human being.
Thank you.
And changing so many lives. And not just these lives, their families, next generation, and the next generation.
Sure.
You're seeding, and one person is going to become families. So that's beautiful. That's how you really change the world. That's how you change the world by a good idea, with good intention. And this is a very selfless work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for being a supporter. You come to most of our events.
course.
So I appreciate
Always,
that.
always, because as I said, the events are super beautiful,
Thank you.
full of amazing people, always good energy, always like there's always something special. It's always like a universal vortex that is happening in all these beautiful events. And it's obviously for a good cause. So that's the whole point. And thank you so much,
right.
Aura. And I have a last question for you. What would you want to say to females and males right now, to the teenagers, to the younger people, or to the older people who went through some hell in early age? What would you want to tell them to overcome that and get through that? What was your motto that you got through with?
I guess to shift the focus on something you really, really love and you're very passionate about. So that way you maybe never gonna heal 100%, but you can do a really good job of kind of shifting your focus instead of kind of thinking about the pain you went through or the bullying you went through or whatever the hardship, but focusing on like, hey, I went through that, but look, I'm very good at giving back or connecting to people or helping or volunteering at something, you know, so kind of shifting the focus and that becomes unimportant. Whatever I went through, it's unimportant because I have so much better goals and bigger goals today. I kind of shifted the focus from pain to like
You use your creativity to overcome.
I'm like these things happened to me and unfortunately, but then I won't let it to overshadow, you know, because then if we let it to overshadow, we will never become our fully, you know, we're never going to reach our full potential.
It is called the power of positive mind.
100%.
Yes, I agree with that, because the positivity is the biggest medicine for everything. I can relate to that, and I agree with that 100%, because when you're positive, the whole world and the whole universe shift and favors you.
100%.
Yes. Can you please tell our audience where to find you, how to support you, your social media, your charity, your magazine?
Sure. So charity website is called lescouleurscharity.org. Same name for the Instagram.
Can you spell that, please? LES?
LESCOULEURS.
.org.
Correct. My Instagram is Aura_Copeland. And what else? Charity related art magazine is Les Couleurs Miami Beach magazine,
where you feature a lot of artists.
I feature a lot of local artists and also international artists, mostly artists that are supporting the charity. That's the whole idea.
Thank you so much, Aura.
It's a pleasure.
Give me a hug.
Of course.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It was truly impactful. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end. I really hope you learned something new and you took notes from today's episode. Let me know which guest you want me to invite for the next time in the comment section, and follow us all over social media. Love you. See you next time.